Hey John, we're sitting here in SHI's new generative AI lab, and we're really excited to be partnering with NVIDIA in what we're doing here. Can you give us a sense of how NVIDIA is looking at partnering with SHI and how we're going to be able to help our customers jointly together?
First of all, this place is fantastic. I'm really excited that you guys offered to have me come out and check it out. It's clear through the lab and through all the work that you have here, the equipment, the hardware, the software, the infrastructure, that you're obviously a leader in generative AI, and that there's a commitment to work with NVIDIA, just like NVIDIA has a commitment to work with you to ensure that we have everything necessary for customers to explore all different aspects of their business and how generative AI can help them.
John, when we talk about exploration, customers are at the very beginning part of a journey in most cases. So what are some use cases that we can be working on and allow customers to experience within this lab environment?
It's interesting that you bring up use cases. So I tend to think of it slightly different than a use case. So for example, the use cases that everybody talks about from a use case perspective would be like a digital human chat bot, or a coding assistant, or a co-pilot. I tend to think of it more, and it makes it easier, I think, for customers to envision it, if you think about it as sort of like an AI teammate. So just like you make hiring decisions in your company about areas that you need to invest or projects you'd like to spin up, you can think about AI as almost like an AI teammate that's joining your team. And so in this case, I guess you're sort of like the AI HR, because they're going to be working with you to bring on, an AI engineering teammate, not a coder, or a customer service AI teammate, not a chatbot.
So John, at SHI, we really are approaching the next generation of AI as really imagine, experiment, and adopt. And we talk about our AI lab being able to allow for experimentation as a service. So how are you seeing customers leveraging this experimentation and this imagination phase in the beginning of their journeys?
It's really interesting. I haven't actually heard anyone articulate it quite the way you have, the imagine, experiment, and adopt, but that's literally what we do with customers. So you're spot on. And this imagination, as I mentioned, is really about thinking about your business the way you do today, any area that you want to invest in a non-AI world, and look at how generative AI can actually accelerate that investment. And then you go into the experimentation phase. And the facility you built here will let customers get hands-on, see what others have done. Last time I did experimenting was in chemistry, right? But you always had a lab book of what somebody else did before you did your own. And I think you can have that same experimentation. And then, obviously, with the assessment program that you guys have and the large data science team, the adoption can roll very quickly from experimentation into production.
Yeah, this generative AI phase is really about that fast acceleration and allowing you to fail easily and fail fast in that experimentation phase, but once you get to that adoption phase, to really scale as quickly as possible. And to be able to do that with a partner like NVIDIA, SHI is right there alongside of you to be able to help deploy this infrastructure once we get to that adoption phase. And so for us, as you look at SHI as a partner in that, give me a little bit about how customers should think about that adoption phase at scale in the data center world that we live in today.
So, alongside is actually, I don't know if there's anything closer than alongside. I kind of feel like we're doing it together, right? And I think the investment that SHI is making, not only from an infrastructure perspective, but understanding, the foundational needs of generative AI with your data science and AI team, looking at the NVIDIA AI software as a way to really deploy quickly, and then design to scale broadly. So I think, the partnership aspect is extremely strong in terms of understanding the technology, and we benefit so much from your guys, gals getting hands-on and giving us feedback as to what's working and not working, so that we can go make the things that aren't working work better.
Well, we're really excited about the NVIDIA NIM microservices and the NIM blueprints and that ability to tie that into that experimentation phase to be able to rapidly accelerate. Why don't you give a little bit of explanation to everyone? What is the NIM blueprints, and what are they allowing customers to do?
Sure. So, the NIM blueprint is almost actually the almost the last thing you do, even though we've started there from a discussion point. So, every enterprise Just like you have enterprise employees today that have your institutional knowledge, there's always, Cindy in accounting that knew how to do this thing, or, Joe in the mailroom or whatever. And so you really need to start and create an enterprise foundational model that's based on your enterprise data. And so we've been working together on this thing called AI Foundry. And the way to think of it, just like a factory, right, or a foundry that produces GPUs, is that your enterprise data goes in and your customized enterprise model comes out. And that model that comes out, it's in a form factor, a software form factor that we call a NIM, which is an NVIDIA inference microservice. And then you take that enterprise model that you've made, and that's when the blueprints come in. Our blueprints are the way that we take those models and we assign them to sales or customer service or supply chain or logistics or wherever that AI is going to work.
As we start to look at our customers and those that are seeking the most amount of help, we're seeing it across a variety of different vertical markets: the financial services market, telecommunications market, manufacturing, as well as healthcare. Healthcare is really interesting, specifically in pharma. What are the type of use cases and the type of capabilities that NVIDIA is bringing to the market today in the pharmaceutical space?
Jack, that's a great one. So pharma is really interesting because we have an offering that together we're able to bring out called BioNemo. And what it is, it's a large language model, but the language is actually biology. People don't always think about that, right? They think about English or Japanese or Spanish, but we've trained a model that accelerates drug discovery. So instead of a researcher trying to come up with what's the right protein to bond with this molecule, what's the right molecule to bond with this protein, we can actually generate them for them using generative AI.
Amazing use case.
And what it does is it really shortens the drug discovery phase so that they can get to trials much more quickly.
Speaking of shortened cycle and speeding things up, but we're sitting here with a couple of H200s behind us. Why don't you talk about what's so amazing about the H200 and the introduction of that, and how that's actually accelerating things across all of these customer use cases and areas and the areas that we're focused on?
Sure. So the H200 is currently our flagship GPU from the Hopper series. And it's really designed and tuned and trained to do generative AI, in particular transformer technology, which is the foundation of training a model. Also, by the way, it works fantastic for inferencing. We're starting to see much larger models like a Llama 2 405B that can all take advantage of the H200.
Clearly taking advantage of the new infrastructure, bringing together all of the different NIMs and the frameworks that NVIDIA is allowing us to be able to deploy in this lab is exactly how we see this partnership continuing to grow. And we're really looking forward to just the continued partnership and the ability to solve people's problems, whatever they may be, that imagination, that experimentation, and ultimately that adoption.
So Jack, as I said, I'm sitting here just amazed at the environment we're in terms of the investment from a hardware and a software perspective and a knowledge of the team. How did you come to decide that you wanted to invest in this and work with NVIDIA?
Well, really, John, the answer came from our customers. Our customers are really seeking guidance. We have thousands of customers all over the world that are really trying to recognize the value that they can get out of leveraging AI for their environment. And so we looked at the ability to invest in that to allow our customers really this playground, this experimentation as a service, but to bring that alongside of expertise so that we make sure that they really achieve the business outcomes that they're looking for, really driving the top level of ROI that they expect to come out of that, and innovating as fast as possible.
That's awesome. If you haven't done that, I don't think you have the experience to be that trusted advisor to answer all of those questions.
Yeah, and I think this is where we're bringing alongside of us as we're bringing our partnership further out into the market. We are bringing some of the top data scientists that have worked on some of the biggest projects across companies like Meta and eBay. They now become trusted advisors to work with our joint customers to deliver these great solutions for them. Generative AI is just such an amazing place for us to all experiment and figure out what is really driving us, and the possibilities are amazing. What is it that gets you up? You work for really the dominating company across the industry. What are the key things that you're seeing that just really excite you about generative AI?
Every day is a new day, literally, in the world of generative AI. We talk to different customers about different use cases. We have incredible researchers at NVIDIA that bring all this technology that then we on the product side, on the business side, need to figure out what we can package up and take to customers. And I think, again, the phrase that you guys use with imagine is it truly is limitless when it comes to generative AI, and we're just at the beginning of it.
Imagination can go so far, and I can really imagine a lot of amazing things that we're really excited about being able to bring to our customers in this lab.
Awesome, Jack. Well, thanks for having it. Thanks for being a partner. We're really excited to see where this is going to go.